Hey everyone, this episode of Tech News Day is sponsored by Capterra and by Squarespace. We'll tell you more about them later in the show, but first, some news.
So the 2020 presidential election is still more than a year and a half away, but because we live in hell now, there's already over a dozen Democratic Party candidates vying for the nomination, with each one trying their damnedest to differentiate themselves from the rest. For Elizabeth Warren, this past week that meant going in hard against the big major tech companies for what she sees as anti-competitive practices. Essentially, what she's arguing for is to break up Amazon, Google, Facebook, and others, and she laid out her plan for how the hell that would actually work and what it even means over on Medium.com, a website normally reserved for apologies.
Yeah, or for scandals like Bezos.
Yeah, so let's take a look into that.
Today's big tech companies have too much power. Too much power over our economy, our society, and our democracy. They've bulldozed competition, used our private information for profit, and tilted the playing field against everyone else. And in the process, they have hurt small businesses and stifled innovation. I want a government that makes sure everybody, even the biggest and most powerful companies in America, plays by the rules. And I want to make sure that the next generation of great American tech companies can flourish. To do that, we need to stop this generation of big tech companies from throwing around their political power to shape the rules in their favor and throwing around their economic power to snuff out or buy up every potential competitor.
And to illustrate her point, she mentions how nearly half of all e-commerce goes through Amazon and over 70% of internet traffic goes through sites owned or operated by Google. She points out that Google, Amazon, and Facebook have each repeatedly bought up smaller competitors or forced them out of business by undercutting them. Amazon not only owns a marketplace, but they also sell their own products on there, often crushing their own third-party sellers by using those sellers' internal data to sell the same products, but Amazon branded for cheaper. Google similarly not only has a search engine, but also various other services that it prioritizes in those searches, like, for example, placing Google ratings higher than Yelp ratings.
Well, Yelp sucks, so fuck them. But also, here's my problem with the Amazon thing.
What about TripAdvisor?
The problem with the Amazon thing is supermarkets have done this for decades because they've done the same thing where they analyze the prices and they come out with Kroger or whatever brand and they put it on the shelves at eye level so that you'll buy their version of the other thing that you want for cheaper.
So the difference here, yes, supermarkets do that. It would be an issue. It would be an antitrust issue if, for example, Kroger bought out all their competitors in an area and they were the only major supermarket brand and they were basically increasingly undercutting all these other vendors. Then that would be an antitrust thing. But as it stands now, there's, any town has 3 or 4 different companies running supermarkets. So it's not anti-competitive.
Yeah, that's fine. Now all this, it's fairly reminiscent of what led to Microsoft's antitrust case in 2001, where it was decided that the way Windows came bundled with Internet Explorer was anti-competitive against other browser companies like Netscape, who Microsoft had previously tried to purchase.
Oh, you're not going to let us buy you? Well, then we're going to destroy you.
Yes. Similarly, in the past, the U.S. government has gone after telecom and oil companies for having so much power that it made true competition impossible. To demonstrate that a similar thing is happening here, Senator Warren points to the fact that the number of tech startups and the amount of money being fed into those startups by venture capital firms has been in decline for the last 7 years.
Yeah, this is, tech journalists started picking up on this a few years back where they're like, hold on, wait a second. Like, there was this big boom period where just billions were being put into startups, and that has been steadily dropping for a long time now because a lot of them see it as sort of pointless.
Yeah, because everything's either already been invented or it'll get their idea stolen and used by...
Yeah.
Google does a good example of this by literally just coming out with any product possible and then getting rid of it. They just like today, I read on the way here that they're cutting the staff for their Pixelbook. Like all of their cheap laptop stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Weird company. But anyway, all right, Senator. Well, what do you plan to do about this, and how are you going to do it? Well, what Senator Warren is proposing is new legislation that would designate tech companies who pull in $25 billion or more per year and also operate an online marketplace, exchange, or platform as platform utilities. It's a new designation. The companies would be prohibited from owning both the platform utility and any participants on that platform. So for Amazon, that would mean forcing Amazon Basics to be spun off into a separate company. And for Google, stuff like Google Search and Google's Ad Exchange would be split up. She also argues that these companies are actually in violation of existing antitrust laws, and she would push for Amazon to have to give up Whole Foods and Zappos Facebook to give up WhatsApp and Instagram, and Google to give up Waze, Nest, and DoubleClick.
I agree with most of those, except I like getting my Amazon discount down at the Whole Foods.
I have still never shopped at a Whole Foods. Gives me the creeps. I don't know what it is.
They do some things right, but there's a lot that I don't like about it.
Eh.
The results of all this, according to Elizabeth Warren, would be that consumers would basically not notice a change at all. But for smaller companies, it would mean a much more fair shot at success online. She also addresses the idea that changes need to be made in how personal information is collected, shared, and sold, but she's not really specific about that. And she doesn't really need to be at this point, because again, this election, it's very far away. And before the election, there's primaries. And even if she wins all of that, she'll still need a Congress that's willing to pass all of this, which is also hard.
Yeah.
There's many steps in this process. It is nice, however, to see a mainstream politician focusing on this as part of a presidential platform. So,
yeah. And it's weirdly enough kind of like a bipartisan issue. Like the Republicans, they hate these companies for
completely different reasons.
Yeah. But like, yeah, I can actually see this being like one of the rare issues that like everyone gets on board with. Like, yeah, fuck those people.
I mean, my only issue with this is there would have to be some real actual regulation on new tech companies because of all the privacy concerns we've had over the past decade or so.
Yeah.
Because you can't just launch something, get people hooked on it, and have invested no money in security or anything like that, which also sucks.
Yeah, the information, personal info stuff, like, I hope she gets more specific with that, because that's like, for consumers, that's the real
it's a big issue.
Yeah. Anyway, oddly enough, Facebook wasted very little time justifying Senator Warren's concerns about big tech by removing some of her Facebook video ads that focused on this specific issue. The ads were eventually reinstated, with Facebook saying that they were initially removed because they contained Facebook's logo, which is against our ad policies. Which, sure, but if you actually look at the ads, the Facebook logo, it's just a tiny F. It's not blue. Like, it's literally just an F that happens to be in that font.
Yeah.
So this was 100% a human employee and not an algorithm that flagged this, which is, I don't know, not a good look for Facebook.
No.
Pretty petty. Nowadays, though, hardly anything is a good look for this company. For example, in other dumb Facebook news, it came out this week that for quite a while, it's been possible to abuse a bug to see which users had been talking to each other on Messenger. The method for doing this was similar to a bug that was discovered back in November that allowed people to see a profile's likes and interests without permission. In both cases, the issue was only patched once an outside security firm notified Facebook about it. And I'm sure Facebook was like, oh yeah, we totally knew about that.
Yeah, well, we were been fixing this for a while, actually, but thanks for the heads up. Now we don't have to pay you.
You'll make it someday.
Yeah. Hang in there, baby. Now, all of this constant scandal and scrutiny, it's got to be stressful for the big man himself, Mark Barbecue Zuckerberg. And based off a recent report from Business Insider, Mark Zuckerberg sounds like a truly paranoid man. Well, let's just read a paragraph for you. Facebook's offices are built above an employee parking lot, but it's impossible to park directly beneath Zuckerberg's desk because of concerns about the risk of car bombs. He also has access to a large glass-walled conference room in the middle of the space near his desk that features bullet-resistant windows and a panic button. There's also a persistent rumor among Facebook employees that he has a secret panic chute. His team can evacuate him out of in case he needs to get out of the office in a hurry.
Yeah.
Just go down the chute. The truth of this matter remains murky. One source said that they'd been briefed about the existence of a top secret exit route through the floor of the conference room into the parking garage, but others said they had no knowledge of it. Facebook declined to comment on this, which probably means it's true.
He's definitely got a fucking escape chute.
I have no problem with this. He is an incredibly rich and powerful and popular and hated person, and why not be prepared?
It's just like, the more I learn about these guys, these titans, like Silicon Valley, the TV show, is just, I'm like, this is a documentary.
Yeah.
These people are all as fucking crazy and egomaniacal as the show says they are.
It's a scary world out there, and I don't see anything wrong with him having bulletproof glass on his conference room door.
But like a secret, like the floor opens up and there's a escape chute.
Well, that's just a lot of fun.
That drops you into like a bulletproof Jeep that drives you out.
That's a lot of fun. And the reason I don't think that exists is because if it did, he would use it every day. That's how I would leave the office.
I don't think Mark like does things for fun.
Yeah, you're probably right. He doesn't seem like a person that has a lot of fun.
No.
Except when he's barbecuing.
But I like the barbecue thing. Like I think it's just as likely that he has no taste buds. He has a smooth tongue, and he's just barbecuing because he's like, people like barbecuing.
I would like it too.
Let's be relatable.
Do you guys like your chicken medium rare?
Sweet baby rays.
I want my baby back ribs. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Anyways, we do have to give Facebook some credit this week for making the long overdue decision to downrank anti-vaxxer content on its news feed and hide it on Instagram. They're also going to reject ads promoting anti-vaccination, which, great. But also, a big reason why this pseudoscientific bullshit has spread so far and wide in recent years is because of Facebook. These fucking mommy groups. It literally, like, if you up until like last week, if you searched like vaccination in the search bar, you'd just get a ton of, it was all anti-vaxxer shit. And yes, like with everything else, the only reason they seem to be doing anything about this now is because Congressman Adam Schiff, our congressman, called them out for it last month. He sent a strongly worded letter to them being like, what the fuck, guys?
It's ridiculous. But, you know, it also wouldn't be very surprising if the top brass at Facebook were anti-vax people because it typically seems to be affluent, powerful people that are anti-vax.
These Silicon Valley types have, they all have God complexes, so they all think they're smarter than doctors. Like Steve Jobs, very smart, very talented guy, thought he was smarter than his fucking cancer doctor. He's like, no, I shall cure my pancreatic cancer by eating only fruit. You're like, what? It's like, yes, the fruit will solve my cancer. No, Steve, you're gonna die, you're getting worse. Nope, the fruit, and then dead.
It's the fruit.
Yeah.
Anyways, now it's time for a quick word from this week's sponsor, starting with Capterra. We've all read some surprising online reviews, right? I mean, we have on Tugs for sure. Whether you're trying to get a sweet deal on something you've been saving for or trying to find the best happy hour in town, it's generally a good idea to read the reviews first. So why should finding the right software for your business be any different? Read thousands of real software reviews and find the right software for your business at capterra.com/newsday.
Capterra is the leading free online resource to help you find the best software solution for your business. With over 750,000 reviews of products from real software users, discover everything you need to make an informed decision. Search more than 700 specific categories of software. Everything from project management to email marketing to yoga studio management software. No matter what kind of software your business needs, Capterra makes it easy to discover the right solution fast. Join the millions of people who use Capterra each month to find the right tools for their business. Visit capterra.com/newsday for free today to find the tools to make an informed software decision for your business. Capterra.com/newsday, that's CAPTERRA.com/newsday. Capterra, software selection simplified.
Also, links to both of these are in the description below, and thank you for using our sponsors. It means a lot and keeps the show going. Having said that, this episode's also sponsored by Squarespace. Domains, websites, online stores, marketing tools, analytics, Squarespace does all of that. Squarespace is the all-in-one platform to build a beautiful online presence and run your business, and they've just added a new feature, email campaigns. Say more, sell more. Stand out in any inbox with Squarespace email campaigns providing consistent content from website to email, powerful editing tools to make it your own, customizable layouts for any message, and mobile editing so you can send anytime, anywhere.
Squarespace lets you quickly and easily create a beautiful website, whether it's for your business, your art, your products, your ideas, you name it. Everything's optimized for mobile right out of the box. It's got analytics that help you grow in real time. There's nothing to patch or upgrade ever, and they've got 24/7 award-winning customer support. Head over to squarespace.com/newsday for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, use the offer code NEWSDAY to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Squarespace.com/newsday, offer code NEWSDAY.
Well, now it's time to check in on someone that we haven't heard from in a while.
Not Jacob Wall, but that's coming.
It's coming.
That's coming later this week. Oh boy.
We're talking about the person that Amber Heard cheated on Johnny Depp with within 2 weeks of being married to him, Elon Musk.
Wait, is that true?
I don't even know if it's allegedly not true at this point. I think on News Dump we're going to go into those court documents. There's some wild shit in there.
Oh, boy. Okay.
Doesn't make her look like a good person at all.
Wow.
Anyways, whether or not that's true, we're talking about Elon Musk. As you'll recall, last year when his whole funding secured tweets got him in trouble with the government because the funding was in fact not secured, part of his settlement with the SEC over that whole thing was that Musk would agree to not tweet out material information about Tesla without first running it by a lawyer. Well, when you're in charge of a publicly traded company, the way you disclose information about that company has to be done very carefully. And specifically, you can't lie. What you say to people, it has to be accurate because people are buying and selling stock based on that information.
Yeah. Now, Musk, of course, has made it clear already that he thinks that part of the SEC settlement is bullshit. Back in December, he did an interview with 60 Minutes where he appeared to have tears in his eyes while he emotionally argued that the SEC's new rules for him about tweeting were a violation of his goddamn First Amendment constitutional rights. In that same interview, he also said, "I have no respect for the SEC," and also heavily implied that he and Tesla hadn't actually even set up any internal policy for abiding by the SEC's rules about his tweets. Which I'm sure the SEC just loved.
Yeah, I'm sure they loved the episode of Meme Review with Elon Musk as well.
What are you doing?
Anyways, it's probably no surprise that didn't take very long for Elon's Twitter use to get him in trouble with the SEC again. 2 weeks ago, the SEC asked a judge to hold Elon Musk in contempt for violating his settlement agreement in 2 tweets that he made back in February, which seemed innocuous enough. Tesla made 0 cars in 2011, but will make around 500,000 in 2019. Then 4 hours later, meant to say annualized production rate at end of 2019, probably around 500K, i.e. 10K cars per week. Deliveries for year still estimated to be about 400K. Thing is, these are exactly the kind of tweets that the SEC doesn't want Musk tweeting out without legal approval. Because in this case, what Musk is saying directly contradicts the projections Tesla gave out a few weeks earlier in their earnings report.
Now, the fact that the original tweet and the correction tweet were hours apart, and that Musk didn't just delete the first one and post a new, more accurate tweet, that doesn't help things at all. So the SEC, they of course looked into it. They determined that no one else at Tesla had reviewed these tweets before they went up, and so they asked a judge to hold Musk in contempt because that's a pretty clear violation of his settlement. Musk and his lawyers, on the other hand, are arguing that Musk didn't actually violate the settlement and that this is, quote, an unconstitutional power grab. To be fair, unlike the funding secured tweets, these weren't posted during trading hours and they don't seem to have had an effect on Tesla stock, but there's already some Tesla investors suing Musk over it. This guy has been sued by his own investors so many times.
He's probably going to go for the lawsuit record at this point. He's like, how close am I? Who's got the record for most lawsuits? I'm going to beat him.
He could wallpaper an entire room with all of his subpoenas.
Like maybe 3, he could do a whole room.
Well, I'm talking
he probably has big rooms.
Big rooms, yeah.
Anyways, this doesn't seem to be a fight Musk is going to back down from at all. And it actually looks like he has the potential to be, this thing has the potential to be a groundbreaking First Amendment case. Sure. It also has the potential for Musk to be forced to step down as CEO or just stop tweeting altogether. So it might not be worth the fight, but this is clearly a man with a pathological love of tweeting and being CEO. So it's going to be a big fight.
Yeah.
Also, though, there's already a pretty clear legal distinction between normal First Amendment speech and what's known as commercial speech, which understandably has it loses a lot of First Amendment protection. So
yeah.
This whole thing, it's pretty unprecedented. The SEC rarely ever holds people in contempt. I would assume because they don't want to be held in contempt.
Yeah, most people when
threatened with major fines and jail time.
Yeah, it's also like when you agree, you say, "Hey, stop right there. Let's make a deal." And you make that deal, and then within a month you're like, "Actually, fuck you guys."
Elon Musk took the mystery box.
Yeah, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
They've never nothing like this has ever happened before.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
And it'll be exciting to see where it goes.
And again, all of his problems could have been avoided if he abided by one simple rule. When shit hits the fan, you just shut the fuck up, Elon.
Get a dumb phone, Elon.
Yeah, I don't fucking get it. I don't get it.
Anyways, thank you for watching. Again, we're still working out the kinks of this new room. So if anything looks or sounds weird, we did more soundproofing today. But make sure that you watch our video from yesterday about the college admissions scandal with bribes and scams and fake charity organizations. It is a wild ride, and we actually know someone involved.
It's my favorite video of the year so far, I think.
It's pretty fucking great. So watch that video, and then watch, of course, last week's episode of Weekly Weird News, starring Martin Shkreli.
Dude, all the fucking characters are coming back.
Yeah, it's like a brand new season.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Anyways, head to the Patreon link below, visit our sponsors, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye-bye.